One quiet moment, three men standing in the same space. No guns raised, no words shouted, but the tension feels heavier than any shootout. This episode 7 clip is not loud. Yet it might be the most dangerous scene of the season because everything changes right here. This episode 7 clip does not hit you with action right away. Instead, it pulls you in slowly. Tommy, Diamond, and Jenard are together, and the silence between them says more than any argument ever could. In power, silence is never empty. It is loaded with fear, anger, and plans that have not been spoken. Yet, the way this scene is framed tells us something big is coming. No one is relaxed. No one feels safe. Every reminds us that trust between these three men is already broken. Tommy's face tells a clear story. He is watching, not reacting. This is not the Tommy who rushes into chaos. This is a man reading the room, measuring every move. He knows one wrong word can push this situation into a war he may not be able to control. The clip shows Tommy standing in the middle, but the space around him feels tight. Almost like the walls are closing in. That tells us he is trapped between two forces that both want power and respect. Diamond's presence feels calm, but it is not peaceful. His silence feels heavy and sharp. He is no longer explaining himself or trying to smooth things over. That matters because Diamond is usually the one who thinks long-term. When a man like Diamond stops talking, it means he has already made a choice in his head. The clip shows him listening, but his eyes are locked in, focused, and cold. This is not confusion. This is patience before a move. Jenard, on the other hand, brings raw emotion into the room. Even when he is not speaking, his energy feels restless. You can sense frustration, jealousy, and anger sitting right under the surface. He looks like someone who feels ignored and pushed aside. This clip makes it clear that Jenard is done waiting. The way he stands, the way he looks at both Tommy and Diamond, shows that he believes something has been taken from him. In power, that feeling always leads to blood. What makes this clip so powerful is what it refuses to show. There is no clear threat, no deal made, no peace confirmed. That is the point. This scene is not about solving problems, it is about setting them up. Power has always used moments like this to warn the audience. When characters stop explaining and start watching each other, it means decisions are already locked in. This episode 7 clip quietly tells us that the triangle between Tommy, Diamond, and Jenard can no longer hold. Someone will break first. Someone will move without warning. And once that happens, there is no way back. This scene is the calm before a storm that will tear everything apart. Tommy Egan walks into episode 7 carrying more weight than anyone else in the room. This is not the loud, reckless Tommy from earlier seasons. This is a man who has learned that survival now depends on timing, silence, and choosing the right side at the right moment. In this clip, Tommy is not trying to dominate the room. He is trying to read it. Every look he gives, every pause he takes, shows a man who knows that one wrong move can turn allies into enemies. Tommy understands something that Diamond and Jenard refuse to accept. The game has changed. Power is no longer about who is the loudest or the angriest. It is about who can stay calm while everyone else loses control. In this scene, Tommy places himself between Diamond and Jenard, but not as a peacekeeper. He stands there as a man buying time. Time to think, time to plan, time to decide who is still useful and who is becoming a threat. What makes Tommy dangerous here is his ability to hide his real thoughts. He listens more than he talks. He watches reactions instead of responding emotionally. This version of Tommy knows that showing anger is weakness. If he reacts too fast, Jenard wins. If he sides too clearly, Diamond loses trust. So Tommy stays neutral on the surface, even though we can feel that his mind is already working through future outcomes. There is also fear in Tommy's position, but not the kind that freezes him. It sharpens him. Tommy knows that both Diamond and Jenard could turn on him if they believe he is choosing the other side. That fear forces him to stay balanced, but balance in power never lasts. The clip shows a man trying to control chaos, knowing full well that chaos always finds a way to break free. Another important detail in this scene is how alone Tommy feels, even when he is not physically alone. He has no real brother here, no true partner. Diamond respects him, but trust is thin. Jenard needs him, but resentment sits underneath that need. Tommy is surrounded by people, yet completely isolated. That isolation is dangerous because it pushes Tommy toward doing what he does best when cornered, creating his own path, even if it burns everything behind him. This scene also hints that Tommy may already be planning beyond Diamond and Jenard. His calm does not come from confidence in them, it comes from confidence in himself. Tommy has survived betrayals, wars, and losses before. He knows that sometimes the smartest move is not fixing the problem, but stepping back and letting others destroy themselves. The clip suggests that Tommy might be waiting for one of them to make a mistake so he does not have to make the first move. By episode 7, Tommy is no longer chasing control for power's sake. He is chasing control to stay alive. That difference matters. He does not want to rule Chicago through emotion or pride. He wants leverage, he wants options, and most of all, he wants to avoid being pulled into a war he did not start. But power never allows a man like Tommy to stay neutral for long. This scene quietly tells us that Tommy is standing at a crossroads. One path leads to order, but at the cost of trust. The other leads to chaos, but with freedom. The longer Tommy waits, the harder the choice becomes, and when he finally decides, it will not just change his future, it will decide who survives. What comes next? Diamond does not raise his voice in this episode 7 moment, and that is exactly why it is dangerous. In the world of power, loud anger is easy to track, quiet focus is not. Diamond stands there listening, watching, letting the tension hang in the air. He is not trying to prove anything anymore. That alone tells us his mindset has shifted. When a man who once tried to keep balance stops explaining himself, it means he has already accepted that peace is no longer possible. Diamond has always believed in structure. He believes in rules, respect, and order. But this clip shows a man who is starting to realize that structure only works when everyone agrees to follow it. Jenard no longer does, and Tommy, even if he means well, is caught between survival and loyalty. Diamond can feel that the ground under his feet is no longer solid. That is why he speaks less and observes more. He is recalculating his world in real time. There is also pain behind Diamond's silence. This is not just business tension. This is family damage that never healed properly. Every look Diamond gives Jenard feels heavy with history, years of rivalry, jealousy, and betrayal sit behind his calm face. He is not surprised by Jenard's behavior anymore. He is disappointed by it. And disappointment is more dangerous than anger because it removes hope from the equation. What makes Diamond's position even more serious is that he is running out of reasons to hold back. He has already tried to lead with patience. He has already given chances. This clip suggests that Diamond no longer believes those chances matter. His body language shows readiness, not hesitation. He is not reacting emotionally, but emotionally detached. That kind of detachment often comes right before someone makes a final decision. Diamond also understands something important that the others do not fully see yet. Respect in this world is not asked for, it is enforced. By staying silent, Diamond is letting his presence speak for him. He is reminding both Tommy and Jenard that he is still a force, still capable, and still dangerous when pushed. The calm energy around him feels like a storm being held back by sheer will. Another layer in this scene is Diamond's awareness of Tommy. He respects Tommy's intelligence, but he also knows Tommy is a survivor first. Diamond can sense that Tommy is weighing options instead of committing. That realization reminds Diamond that, in the end, he may be alone. Leaders who stand alone often have to make hard moves without support. This clip hints that Diamond is preparing himself for that reality. The most telling part of this scene is what Diamond does not do. He does not interrupt. He does not defend his past actions. He does not seek validation. Those are the actions of someone who no longer needs approval. He is done trying to be understood. Now, he only wants results. In power, that mindset usually leads to bloodshed. This episode 7 clip shows Diamond crossing an invisible line. He may still look calm, but inside, the decision is forming. The silence is not weakness. It is the warning sign before everything breaks, and when Diamond finally moves, it will not be loud, messy, or emotional. It will be clean, direct, and impossible to undo. Jenard walks into this episode 7 moment carrying more than frustration. He carries years of feeling overlooked, disrespected, and pushed to the side, unlike Diamond. Jenard does not hide what he feels. Even when he is quiet, his energy fills the room. This scene shows a man who is tired of waiting for approval and tired of being treated like the weaker brother. That frustration has been building for a long time, and now it is starting to leak out in dangerous ways. What makes Jenard unpredictable here is not just his anger, but the reason behind it. He believes he has been loyal. He believes he has earned his place, and yet he feels like the power always slips just out of his reach. Watching Tommy stand between him and Diamond only makes that feeling worse to Jenard. It looks like another reminder that he is never fully chosen. In his mind, that means respect must be taken, not given. This clip shows Jenard struggling with control. He wants to speak, to confront, to force the situation to break his way. But he also knows that moving too soon could put him in danger. That internal battle is written all over his face. His jaw tightens. His posture stays tense. He's holding himself back. And that restraint is not strength. It is pressure building up inside a man who does not know how to release it safely. There is also fear in Jenard's anger, though he would never admit it. He fears becoming irrelevant. He fears losing ground while others gain power. And most of all, he fears being left behind by the game he helped build. That fear pushes him toward rash decisions. Power has always shown that fear mixed with pride creates the most violent outcomes. This scene quietly confirms that Jenard is heading down that path. Another key detail in this moment is how Jenard looks at Diamond. There is no warmth left there. Whatever brotherhood once existed is gone. In its place is competition and resentment. Jenard no longer sees Diamond as family. He sees him as an obstacle. That shift is huge because once family becomes an enemy, there are no rules left. Anything becomes possible, including betrayal that crosses every line. Jenard's view of Tommy is also changing. He still needs Tommy, but trust is fading. He senses Tommy's neutrality and mistakes it for weakness or manipulation. That misunderstanding makes Jenard more dangerous. He believes he can force Tommy's hand by creating chaos, but chaos rarely stays under control. This clip hints that Jenard may act alone, without warning, believing that bold moves will earn him the respect he craves. What truly seals Jenard's path in this scene is his impatience. He is done waiting for the future to come to him. He wants results now. That impatience blinds him to long-term consequences. He does not see the trap forming around him. He only sees the moment in front of him and the anger driving his choices. Episode 7 presents Jenard as a man standing on the edge. One step forward and everything changes. His anger is no longer contained. It is searching for an outlet, and when it finally finds one, it will not just damage his enemies. It will reshape the entire balance of power, leaving scars that no one can erase. This episode 7 moment is not about what happens on screen, but about what is already decided off screen. By the time Tommy, Diamond, and Jenard stand together in this clip, the war has already begun in their minds. No one is asking how to fix things anymore. They are all quietly asking the same question: who moves first? That is how power signals the point of no return. And this scene carries that exact energy. The balance between these three men has been fragile for a long time. Episode 7 shows that the balance is finally breaking. Tommy is thinking in terms of survival. Diamond is thinking in terms of order. Jenard is thinking in terms of revenge. Those goals cannot exist together. When motivations stop aligning, alliances become temporary and trust becomes useless. This clip makes it clear that they are no longer standing on the same ground, even if they are in the same room. What makes this moment so dangerous is how calm it looks. Power often hides its biggest turns inside quiet scenes. The lack of shouting, the lack of violence, and the lack of clear threats make this moment feel almost safe. But safety in power is an illusion. When characters stop arguing, it means decisions have moved past words and into action plans. Everyone here is already calculating consequences. The triangle between Tommy, Diamond, and Jenard has collapsed inward. There is no longer a middle ground. Tommy cannot keep playing both sides forever. Diamond cannot keep holding back for the sake of peace. Jenard cannot keep waiting for respect that he believes will never come. This scene quietly confirms that the next move will be personal, not strategic, and personal moves are always the most violent. Another important detail is how history weighs on this moment. None of these men are new to betrayal. They have all seen what happens when trust breaks. That shared history makes this silence even heavier. They know exactly how this ends because they have lived versions of it before. That is why there is no shock in their faces, only acceptance. Acceptance that blood will be spilled and relationships will not survive it. This clip also sets up something darker. The war that is coming will not be clean. It will not be clear who is right or wrong. Every man involved believes he is justified. Tommy believes survival demands distance. Diamond believes leadership demands control. Jenard believes respect demands action. When everyone believes they are right, compromise becomes impossible. Episode 7 quietly locks them into that reality. What is most unsettling is that none of them truly want peace anymore. Peace would require trust, and trust has already died. This scene shows men who are emotionally preparing themselves for loss. They are bracing for the moment when lines are crossed and cannot be uncrossed. That emotional preparation is often the final step before violence. By the end of this clip, the audience is left with a clear feeling. The war is not coming, it is already here, just waiting for its first visible act. Episode 7 does not need gunfire to tell us that. The silence, the tension, and the looks between these men confirm it. Once the trigger is pulled, whether literal or figurative, nothing will return to the way it was.